Okay, let's just get started with this first question here. I mean, ever since you came to our hometown and designed the website, you've been focused on mobile. I mean, it just seemed like maybe before you were really into publishing, you had this intuitive sense that mobile was important and is going to be more and more important. I mean, how would you describe your outlook designing Signals and all the multiple iterations? Because I'm just looking at your mobile site now. It's so slick and clean. And I know that when you're designing this with us, you're constantly looking at the mobile site. You're not designing it really. I mean, you have desktop in mind, but it seems like you're looking at both places at the same time, which I don't think a lot of publishers do enough. So anyway, what is your perspective on mobile and your strategy around it, just in general?
Sure. Well, as a publisher, or in general as a human being, old habits are hard to break. And as publishers, we all have these big, iMacs and big screens
Right.
for designing, and it's easy not to remember, at least for us personally, our organization, that over 72 to 78% of our traffic is mobile and maybe higher.
Right.
And it always has been for quite a long time. I tracked that trend when it flipped years ago.
Right.
And so I'm constantly reminding my team, we design for mobile first. And that goes all the way to our graphics. So, if I get a graphic and I can't read it on mobile real easily without my glasses,
Right.
that's kind of my is. I take my glasses off. If I can't read it on mobile, then
That's the test.
it's not meeting the criteria.
Yes.
So designing for mobile first is really our methodology. It's as simple as that.
Right.
And it'll look beautiful on desktop. It'll look beautiful on tablet. But
Right.
it's got to be designed for mobile. We all have the big phones now, and
Right.
it's all obvious.
Yep.
But all you got to do is look at our analytics. It's over 72 to 78% mobile. I expect that to climb a little bit more.
Right.
People are at home and they're on desktop or laptop occasionally, and as I am, and I just look at my own use, and
Yeah.
I'm on my phone even more recently just because I'm too lazy to get on my desktop.
Right.
When I'm publishing, I'm on desktop or on my big Mac in the office.
Right.
That as my team is. Thanks for coming in, George. We have visitors. But yeah, it's mobile. So design for mobile first, and you have to start within your company with your graphic designers and your content producers. Is remember, this is mobile.
Right. Right. Yeah, I love that. And I always notice that your ads are very easy to read on mobile. It's clear that mantra is getting through. So you talk about the design of the graphics, the ads, the images that are used, for the featured images.
Yep.
Also, just like the user experience. I mean, this is something that you do have to direct with us. Like with our sites are mobile responsive in the sense that everything will translate to mobile, but it may not translate exactly as you imagined it on just by default, right? If you're designing desktop first, if you're designing mobile first, as you said, then it goes back to desktop fine because there's a lot more room. But for example, just like having this search bar at the very top, I feel like that's something that you probably specifically asked for because that's a key function that you want right up front, right?
Right. Again, and you already know this about us, is if I see something that I don't like, I'm not afraid to say, hey, we got to change this, find a way to development team to change it. And I'd be honest with you, our hometown has always been stellar with saying, hey, we'll look into this. We'll get back to you. You haven't dropped a ball. And we've changed things. So that I appreciate about you guys. That's why I'm still with you.
Right.
Is the customer service has been great. I need it to be mobile first.
Yeah.
I need the user experience, the UX, if you will,
right,
and the UI user interface to match that.
Right.
But publishers got to be, they have to understand if they don't buy now, then they're not in touch. And I'm hoping what I'm saying and what I'm sharing is obvious, and I'm simply confirmation that it's got to be mobile first.
Right, right. And that goes for the design of the images, the functionality, and also I would imagine the order of the widgets. So this I mean, you kind of, did you look at your stats and say stories are featured stories are number one, events are number two, local and state news, like in terms of the traffic, and then lay it out that way, or what went into the layout, I guess?
It's a mixture of things. I don't think you could ever look at just one thing in design.
Yeah.
There's smoke and mirrors and some recipe making, if you will. Um, for us, number one is success is really about the local. People move here to get away from. We've talked about this, the big cities and the bad news. And as a lot of people know about us, we're 100% good news. We don't publish divisive stuff. We don't publish politics or car crashes. We're unique that way. But we're also the most successful from a traffic standpoint in Central Arizona. We think the model is working. It's really about, okay, our featured stories is up top because those are the big things happening in the area, whether it's an event or an update from a mayor. And then we got our featured articles or top articles in our featured events that are taking place. People want to know and want to get out, especially now more than ever post-COVID, is what works for us. We know that our top stories and our featured events is what people are looking at. So in some sense, yes, we look at our analytics, but we're not afraid to turn it around and kind of play with it every now and then based on what we're seeing or hearing. But for right now, what we got up seems to be working. But we're not afraid to cut some stuff out, which we've done recently, to refine things as we go.
Right. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. And I guess this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but like maybe we can talk about this monetizing mobile. I mean, it just makes me think of it because these are featured events. Are these paid in some cases, or
some? Yes, absolutely. So Moonlight at the Movies is a client. It's a city of Prescott series of events that they put on for the public.
Cool.
And they engaged us to promote their events. We have an events marketing program, if you will, combination of featured articles, featured event posts, as well as then marrying that with the social media pushes that we do on our social media pages.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, when your all-star salesperson is out there selling these packages, though, she's probably showing them on the phone. I would think like, hey, here's top news. And then there you would be right there, second spot.
So if you look at those, as you know, and this is for your prospects, this is where my royalties for sales kicks in, Tyler. All of our events are based in a geo directory. So on your phone, you can literally go to the map, click on it, and from where you're at, it'll take you to where the event is. One of my favorite aspects of where it says get directions. So the geolocation is a big thing for me because I know the SEO loves to swim in those geo directories, which helps with SEO, but it makes it, again, user experience, makes it easy to find the event. Nothing's more annoying to me than somebody posts an article on an event, they leave out a location. They might just put, hey, it's at Bob Edwards Park. Well, okay, well, tell me where Bob Edwards Park is. Having this
that extra step.
Yeah, it makes it nice. So from a mobile aspect, from an advertising aspect, from a user experience, having all these things makes it valuable.
Nice. Yeah, I think the alternative to this is posting it. You know, some people are still posting events as articles, but as you said, there's a lot of benefits to the geo directory. It's much more structured. Google likes it more because you're telling it exactly what is the event description, where are the directions. Yeah, it's just more structured.